Mexico is one of the most misunderstood travel destinations in the world. Most foreigners picture either crowded beach resorts or dangerous border towns. Both pictures are wrong. Mexico in 2026 is one of the most diverse, sophisticated, and affordable travel destinations on Earth. The capital is one of the great cities of the Americas. The Pacific coast has surfing villages with no tourists. The colonial cities have architecture older than most of the United States. 42 million international tourists visited Mexico in 2024, second only to France and Spain. Most travelers see only a tiny slice of what Mexico actually is. The opportunity gap between perception and reality might be the largest of any major travel destination. In the next 12 minutes, I'll explain why Mexico is not what most foreigners think. The 4 distinct regions every traveler should know. The actual safety reality in 2026. The real costs that make Mexico one of the best value destinations on Earth, and the cultural mistakes that mark you as a tourist instantly. But first, you need to understand the visa situation, because Mexico has one of the most generous policies of any major destination. Visa rules for Mexico in 2026. Mexico has one of the most generous tourist policies in the world. Most Western nationalities, including United States, Canada, United Kingdom, EU, Australia, New Zealand, Japan, can stay 6 months visa-free. You get a tourist card called FMM at the airport or land border. Keep it. You need it to leave the country. The card is free at most airports. 6 months is the longest visa-free stay any major country offers. Indian and Chinese passport holders need either a Mexican visa or can use a valid United States visa to enter Mexico visa-free. A U.S. visa for Indians or Chinese travelers automatically allows Mexico entry. This is one of the easiest visa workarounds in international travel. Mexico has a small tourist tax in Cancun area, around 240 pesos, or $12, paid on arrival or at the hotel. Other regions have similar smaller taxes, not significant in the overall trip cost. Now the safety question, because it stops more travelers than anything else about Mexico. The honest reality. Mexico has dangerous areas, mostly in specific border cities and certain rural regions known for cartel activity. Tourist destinations are statistically safe. Mexico City, Oaxaca, Guanajuato, Mérida, Tulum, Playa del Carmen, and most tourist areas have lower violent crime rates than many major American cities. The State Department warnings often conflate cartel territory with tourist areas, which are not the same places. Mexico City specifically has neighborhoods like Roma Norte, Condesa, Polanco, and the historic center that are safe to walk in day and night. The city has had a remarkable transformation over the last 15 years and is now one of the most cosmopolitan cities in the Americas. Standard travel precautions apply. Do not flash expensive jewelry. Use registered taxis or Uber. Stay in tourist neighborhoods. Watch your belongings in crowds. Do not travel to known cartel territories. With these basics, Mexico is safer than most travelers expect. Real costs of Mexico in 2026. Mexico is one of the best value destinations in the world for the quality you receive. A mid-range hotel in Mexico City in a good neighborhood like Roma or Condesa. Around $80 to $150 per night for excellent quality. Beach destinations like Cancun and Playa del Carmen are more expensive. Resort hotels $200 to $400. But you can also find boutique hotels for $150. Tulum has become expensive, similar to American resort prices. Oaxaca and other colonial cities, $60 to $120 per night. Food costs in Mexico are remarkable. Excellent street tacos, $2 to $3 for 3 tacos. A meal at a mid-range restaurant in Mexico City, $15 to $25 per person with drinks. A meal at a high-end restaurant, $40 to $70. Drinks in Mexico are reasonable. Local mezcal or tequila with mixer at a regular bar, $5 to $8. Coffee at a cafe, $2 to $4. Beer at a casual restaurant, $3 to $5. Internal transport is excellent and cheap. The ADO bus network connects all major cities with comfortable buses. Mexico City to Oaxaca, about 6 hours, around $50. Domestic flights between major cities are short and around $100 to $200 round trip. A complete 10-day trip in Mexico, mixing Mexico City with another region, eating well, staying in nice hotels, doing activities. Around $1,200 to $1,700 per person plus flights. The same level of trip in Europe would be $2,500 or more. Mexico is exceptional value. The 4 regions of Mexico every traveler should know. Region 1. Mexico City in central Mexico. The capital is one of the most underrated cities in the world for travelers. 20 million people. World-class museums including Anthropology Museum and Frida Kahlo Museum. Restaurant scene that competes with any city globally. Day trip to Teotihuacan Pyramids. Allow at least 4 days. Most travelers regret 2. Region 2. The Caribbean coast. Riviera Maya. Cancun, Playa del Carmen, Tulum, Cozumel. The Caribbean beaches that match anything in the world for color and clarity. Cenotes for swimming. Mayan ruins. Reef diving. Most travelers go to resorts. The independent travelers who base in Tulum or Playa del Carmen and explore have a much better experience. Allow at least 5 days. Region 3. Oaxaca and the Pacific South. The colonial city of Oaxaca is one of the most beautiful in Mexico. Indigenous culture remains strong. The food is legendary, considered the best regional cuisine in Mexico. The Pacific coast nearby has surfing villages like Puerto Escondido and Mazunte. Allow at least 4 days for Oaxaca. Add 3 days for the coast if you have time. Region 4. The Yucatan Peninsula. Mérida is a beautiful colonial capital, much quieter than Cancun. Chichen Itza and other major Mayan ruins. The Yucatan culture is distinct from central Mexico. Allow 3 days for the colonial cities. Add 2 days for ruins. Quick pause. If this regional breakdown helps, drop a like. It tells the algorithm to show this to more travelers planning Mexico. Now let me explain why most travelers do Mexico wrong. Cultural rules that mark you as a tourist in Mexico. First, Spanish. Mexico does not have widespread English like Western Europe. Outside tourist areas, English is limited. Basic Spanish phrases are essential. Hola, gracias, por favor, la cuenta. Mexicans are friendly and patient with even broken Spanish. The effort matters more than the proficiency. Traveling Mexico without any Spanish is possible, but you miss most of the country. Second, tipping. Mexico has stronger tipping culture than most non-American countries. 15% in restaurants. Small tips for hotel staff. The equivalent of $1 to $2 for porters and housekeeping. Tip more generously than in Europe. Third, street food. Mexican street food is some of the best in the world, but you need to choose carefully. Eat where there are local crowds. Avoid places that look empty or seem to cater only to tourists. The famous Taco El Pastor Trompo, the rotating meat spit, is the safest bet at any street stall. Fourth, pace. Mexican meals are slower than American or European meals. Service is unhurried. The check comes only when you ask for it. Trying to rush a Mexican lunch marks you as a tourist. The right approach is to relax and accept the pace. Fifth, water. Tap water is generally not safe to drink. Bottled water in all restaurants. Ice in tourist areas is usually purified, but if you have a sensitive stomach, ask. Most travelers who get sick in Mexico are doing fine, but eat a salad rinsed in tap water. Before I tell you the most important insight about Mexico, hit subscribe if this is useful. The channel covers complete country guides every week, and a growing subscriber count helps push these to more travelers. Now back to Mexico. The truth about Mexico that almost no travel content tells you. The most popular Mexican destinations for foreigners, Cancun Resort Zone, Tulum, are the least Mexican places in Mexico. Cancun Resort Zone could be anywhere in the Caribbean. The food in the resorts is internationalized. The activities are designed for foreign tourists. You can spend a week in Cancun and have almost no contact with actual Mexican culture. Real Mexico is in the cities like Mexico City, Oaxaca, Mérida, and Guanajuato. It is in the small towns where indigenous culture remains strong. It is in the markets, in family restaurants, in neighborhood plazas at sunset. The travelers who include even 1 week in Mexico City have a fundamentally different experience than the travelers who only do beach resorts. Mexico City changes how you think about Mexico permanently. The sophistication, the food, the culture, the energy, the strategy that works. Combine 5 days in Mexico City, 4 days at a beach, but choose a smaller town like Sayulita on the Pacific, or stay in Playa del Carmen and explore independently rather than at a resort. This gives you both Mexicos. So what should you do if you are planning Mexico in 2026? First, spend at least 3 days in Mexico City. The city alone is worth the trip. Stay in Roma Norte or Condesa neighborhoods. Second, add one other region, Oaxaca for food and culture, the Yucatan for Mayan ruins and Caribbean beaches, the Pacific coast for surfing and small towns. Pick based on what type of experience you want. Third, book accommodations in advance for the high season. Mexico City, Roma, and Condesa neighborhoods fill up. Tulum is especially crowded in winter months. December to March is peak season nationally. Fourth, Learn basic Spanish before going. Even 1 hour of language preparation makes a measurable difference in how Mexicans treat you and what you can experience. Fifth, eat where the locals eat. The best meals in Mexico are not in expensive restaurants. They are in small neighborhood places, street food stalls with crowds of locals, and traditional markets. TripAdvisor Top 10 in Mexican cities is almost always tourist optimized. Mexico in 2026 is one of the most rewarding travel destinations on earth for travelers willing to look past the resort stereotype. The country has more culture, more depth, more value than almost any other destination at this price level. If this video helped you reconsider Mexico, drop a like, subscribe, and press the bell icon. Tomorrow, another country worth knowing. See you then.